James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so still recapping some of those fights on the Canelo Crawford undercard that I didn't get a chance to talk about because a lot of them deserve coverage, and they all had fighters that I've made videos about, so they're all gonna get their own video even if it's late. But man, this fight right here, this was the main event on the prelims between, you had a rematch of a fight that I really enjoyed 4 years ago on Ring City, USA, the now defunct Thursday Night Fight Series, and it was in Puerto Rico. It was on a random Thursday in 2021. At that particular time, you had Sergey Bohachuk knocking everybody out, 100% knockout ratio, against Brandon Adams, the former world title challenger. Good fighter, good little fighter at the time. This is the perception going in. Good little fighter at the time, but a guy like Bohachuk of his pedigree should have ran through him. And in their first fight, that's what happened for like about 8 or 9 rounds, and then literally towards the last 2 rounds of the fight, I can't remember if it was the 9th round or the 10th, but Brandon Adams knocked Sergey Bohachuk out cold, knocked him out cold, and he scored an upset victory. And the crazy thing was, Brandon Adams' career didn't really push forward. It stagnated. It's almost like he got punished for beating Bohachuk. He got put on the shelf for a while. We didn't see nor hear anything from Brandon Adams for a long time in boxing, right? So then, Adams, fights in the OTX tournament. He wins a couple fights, loses in the finals against Andre Katsourakis, and a lot of people thought he got robbed in that fight, right? So that's his career going into the fight. Bohachuk, after losing that fight, he won about 4 or 5 fights in a row. Fights Virgil Ortiz, scores 2 knockdowns, loses a fight that he probably should have won against one of boxing's hottest young names. Then he comes back again, fights Michael Fox. Doesn't look so good that fight, and people thought that he probably got a gift in the Michael Fox fight. So, these guys have had a lot of ups and downs, and there was quite a lot to fight for. And then when you add to the equation that they're fighting on the one of, if not the biggest card of the year, it's very debatable, on Netflix, that makes the stage even bigger for this kind of occasion. So these guys both, from round 1 to round 10, just let the leather fly. There was no feel-out rounds. There was no, I'm going to probe my jab. No. It was a feel-out round the whole time through. And you saw Brandon Adams and Bohachuk trying their best to get one another out of there. But Brandon Adams' will and Bohachuk's will were at the highest level. Nobody was going to quit in that fight. And Adams, throughout the fight, I noticed he'd be in the high guard a lot, and he would just throw a 1-2, like a lot of throwaway punches, and then that third punch would be the hard punch to the body, bang, and he just kept landing. He kept beating Bohachuk to that body over and over, bang, bang, right? And Bohachuk, as these punches landed, Bohachuk started to tuck his elbow in because he was very cognizant and aware of what Adams was trying to do. So then Adams had to start looping his shots on the guard. Meanwhile, Bohachuk's in that really educated, structured, Ukrainian, out of that style. He's just keeping his punches nice and straight, going on the middle. And he's landing on Brandon Adams, so he's getting his stuff off as well. So both men, I forgot the punch counts, but I know both guys had to have been both either in the 1,000 punch range or close to it. I thought Adams' punches, Bohachuk might have landed more. He was putting probably a little more numbers together, but I thought Adams was landing the more significant punches throughout the fight. That was my impression watching the fight. And that's exactly what the judges saw, because they gave Brandon Adams another win. So this fight was completely different than the first fight. Bohachuk didn't have no crazy lead this fight. Bohachuk in the build-up to this fight had said that Adams is old and he can't beat him anymore because he's old. And Brandon Adams completely disproved that notion. And I think it's time for the boxing game and the boxing industry to be a little bit more fair to Brandon Adams. This is a guy that's had to stop and start his career. He's fought some really good fighters and beat Bohachuk. He's beat Bohachuk twice now. Virgil Ortiz hasn't really, in my opinion, he hasn't even beat Sergey Bohachuk once. Brandon Adams beat Sergey Bohachuk twice. He's got his number on speed dial. Because that's how boxing is. A lot of people may feel like Bohachuk is a better fighter than Brandon Adams, right? But some guys just have that, they just have your number. They just have that style. And I feel like in this case, kind of like back in the day with Vernon Forrest and Ricardo Mayorga. Vernon Forrest was looked at to be the more skilled fighter, but he couldn't beat Ricardo Mayorga because Ricardo Mayorga just had his number. And I think that's the case here with Brandon Adams. But look, it's not a bad loss for Bohachuk because Sergey Bohachuk fought tooth and nail to the very, very end. When you go out there and you fight tooth and nail to the very, very end, and you really leave it all in the ring, I can't hate on you. I can't say you got exposed because it was a close fight. You know, it was a fight where you were very much in, and had you done maybe one thing differently, maybe you would have found that key punch to hurt this guy or turn the fight in your favor. But he just couldn't do it because on this night, as much courage and grit as Bohachuk had that night, just didn't match Brandon Adams and the grit that he had and what he's been dealing with probably in his career, because he beat Bohachuk, got punished for it. You know, he lost a very tough fight to Katsorakis to win the OTX tournament, but he's won again. And I feel like it's time for the boxing game to be fair to Brandon Adams. It's time for the boxing game to give him another opportunity to fight on the top level with an even bigger name than Bohachuk. And the way I see it is this. You know, you have a couple of guys in this weight class that he could fight. You know, you have the Andre Katsorakis rematch. You have, you know, which I think is the ideal opponent. Virgil Ortiz is fighting Eric Salubin on November 8th. Golden Boy don't want to really put him in no world title fights because they're playing all these games in the media, right? And I'm going to call it what it is. They're playing games in the media. They don't really want to fight Xander Zayas like they act like they do. So in the intermediate time, why don't they do Virgil Ortiz versus Brandon Adams? This is the guy that really beat Bohachuk better than you did both times. And I think it'd be a good win for him, you know, if Adams can fight. So, you know, that's an option. You know, Xander, if you want to step up to the plate, that's an option for you. Bakram can't get an opponent, right? Bakram or Zaliev can't get an opponent. And listen, Brandon Adams will fight anybody. Brandon Adams fought Charlo. He fought Bohachuk twice, Katsorakis, and a whole truckload of guys. He's not in the position to turn down smoke. So Bakram or Zaliev, do you want to fight? Do you want to stay active? Or do you want to be like a lot of these Eastern Europeans? Do you want to just hide behind the title of the boogeyman and not fight people and stay active? Because I feel like he's got an option too. If he wants to fight, this is a guy that I have zero doubt in my mind would take a fight with him, and it'd be for a world title. And you got to think that Brandon Adams, coming off of 2 Sergey Bohachuk wins, performing very well against Katsorakis in the OTX tournament, and just all the experience being on the contender, all the experience he's gained in his career. You don't think he'd fight Bakram or Zaliev? Come on, man. I think Brandon Adams will fight Bakram or Zaliev if that paperwork gets passed and a world title shot is offered to him. So there's a whole little options there, and I think he's earned his shot at glory. So best of luck to him, and hopefully the people that run his career, whoever they are, I don't even know who promotes or manages Brandon Adams, but whoever it is, I hope they do what's right by him and get him the opportunity he deserves, because he's done more than his fair share in the ring. He's done his part in the ring to earn those opportunities. And respect to Bohachuk. He's always worth our time. He's always worth the watch. And I will still be watching him and covering his career and supporting him, because he's always giving boxing fans great fights. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.